For years, the story's been the same. The future of computing, all the real power, it lives in the cloud. But as AI starts to take over, well, a quiet revolution is brewing, and it's putting a supercomputer right back where it all started, on your desk.
So let's really dig into this. Why are we talking about this shift? We're going to explore why those massive, centralized data centers that basically run our entire digital world might not actually be the future of AI.
To really get this, we've got to start with the massive problem that's happening in the cloud right now. People are calling it the AI compute crunch. And really, it's a classic supply and demand story, except demand is just off the charts. I mean, just look at this chart. This shows the GPU as a service market. And it's not just growing, it is absolutely exploding. We're talking a more than tenfold increase in the next decade. This is a huge signal of just how ravenous the appetite is for AI processing power. And this quote, it really just nails the problem. The demand for these high-end GPUs is so intense, it's created a global shortage. The big cloud providers, they just can't keep up. And that means sky-high prices and super long waiting lists for pretty much everyone else. But here's the crazy part, the real paradox. While all these giant companies are fighting over compute power, there is a massive, completely untapped resource all around us. Okay, take a second and just let that number sink in. 15%. That means the vast majority, like 85%, of the world's graphics processing power in gaming PCs, workstations, you name it, is just sitting there, idle, at any given moment. That is an incredible amount of wasted potential. So, of course, some really smart people started asking the question, what if we could tap into all that wasted power? And that has led to this brilliant new model, one that people are starting to call the Airbnb for AI. The technology that makes all this work is called DePIN. Yeah, it stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. I know, it's a mouthful. But the idea is actually really simple. Instead of one company owning a giant data center, a DePIN connects thousands or even millions of individual devices into one massive virtual network. Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is exactly like this. You've got a spare room in your house, so you list it on Airbnb. Well, what if you have a powerful computer that's just sitting idle? You can rent out its processing power. It's the same idea.
It's a pretty simple three-step process, but it's revolutionary. First, these networks go out and they aggregate all the spare GPU power from individual owners all around the world. Then, they basically stitch it all together to create a virtual supercomputer. And finally, they offer that power to developers and AI startups at a massive discount.
And when I say massive, I mean staggering. By tapping into all this hardware that's already out there and cutting out the huge overhead of traditional cloud providers, DePINs can offer the same computing power for up to 80, maybe even 90% less. That's not just a small change. That fundamentally rewrites the economics of AI. Now, this whole decentralized model would just be a cool idea if it wasn't for a parallel revolution that's happening in hardware. The tools you need to actually participate in this are getting smaller, they're getting way more powerful, and, this is the key part, they're getting more affordable for all of us. Yeah, this isn't your old office desktop. Not even close. We're talking about a whole new category of computers. They're compact, they're shockingly powerful, and they are purpose-built to handle complex AI tasks, like running large language models right there on your desk. Let's just look at these specs for a second because they're kind of wild. Machines like these can pack up to 128 gigabytes of unified memory. So what does that really mean? Well, think of it this way. Most GPUs have a small, fixed amount of memory, we call it VRAM. If an AI model is too big, it hits a wall and performance just tanks. Unified memory solves that by giving the AI processor access to this massive shared pool of system RAM. It's like upgrading from a small desk to an entire warehouse. And that AI power number, TOPS, that's trillions of operations per second. 126 TOPS is just raw horsepower that lets these little mini PCs actually outperform a top-tier RTX 4090 on specific AI jobs. And this power isn't just stuck on desktops. Look at the Red Magic Astra tablet. It's got up to 24 gigs of RAM and a chip that just blows away the competition. We are seeing AI-ready hardware go totally mainstream in devices you can just hold in your hand. And this trend, it's popping up across every single industry. In casinos, you've got these silent fanless machines from Quicksant running super complex games. In factories, devices like the Revolution Pi are bringing AI to heavy machinery. And for gamers, companies like AOStar are squeezing high-end graphics cards into these impossibly tiny boxes. The power is becoming decentralized. So, what does all this, the cloud compute crunch, the DeepIn model, this new wave of hardware, what does it actually mean for you? Well, the implications are huge. For starters, it means costs come way down. You can access world-class AI without paying those insane cloud fees. It means real data privacy, because your sensitive info never has to leave your local machine. You can skip the waitlist for GPUs, run huge language models right at home, and just unleash your creativity. And you can even turn your own hardware into a new source of income by renting out its idle time to one of these networks. We are absolutely entering a new era. The last big shift, the cloud. It gave everyone access to a computer. This next one is putting a personal supercomputer on every desk and in every home. So the only real question left is, what are we going to build with it?